Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone who are teaching us truth and sincerity. And a shout out to Yakian that's out there on four quarters of the earth proclaiming this truth. And to Yahweh that are tuning in and listening as well. Brakat to Yahweh, Brakat to Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakakadash, Brakat Dub. So out here another week prophesying the downfall of America, better known as Babylon the Great, and of course all the nations of Edom about ready to be brought into this war, which is known as the third woe. And pretty much, man, you know, you're seeing it, everything lining up to what we've been saying for a long time. You know, that the third and final woe would be out there in the Middle East. What Esau likes to call the Middle East, but really that's where all civilization really had started, though, was right there in the Valley of Yehoshaphat. And there, the Most High is pleading for our cause, you know, that is the elect of us. Because if you're not part of the elect, then you weren't written in the Lamb's Book of Life, and you're going to be judged in this third woe that's coming quickly. As you can tell, though, what started out as a false flag eventually led to a Mossad operation, which led to the death of a leader, a beloved leader, who actually did something about ISIS and went after ISIS. So they killed Mohammed bin Salman, and, you know, Iran had responded and took out the entire base of Al-Assad air base. You notice it was called Al-Assad, you know, because of course Bashar al-Assad is somebody else that they've been trying to go after, because they want to try to do a regime change in Iran, but it's not going to work. And though you can see a lot of exchanges of fire, you know, just such as the sabotage, which you can best believe is a Mossad operation, the sabotage of the Ukrainian plane to blame Iran, to say that Iran's defense forces had shot down a passenger airline to build up the rhetoric against Iran. We know it's a Mossad operation because they've done the same shit with Libya years ago, saying that Muammar Gaddafi had something to do with Flight 101. And we know it's always been a Mossad operation. Amalek, the least of the flock, drawing everybody into this war. You know, and this will be the war to end all wars, because after this, man, Esau will be destroyed and they will not learn the ways of war anymore. We will be in power. And the rest of these nations, including Esau, will be into slavery. And then after the 1,000 years of slavery, then Esau will be destroyed forever. So Esau is on his way to extinction. And one of the big parts that's going to kill a lot of them, of course, is this third woe that's coming quickly. Yeah, that entire base was taken out by Iran's pretty much retaliation. And all the other nations are supporting Iran in their response to the terrorists, to the United Snakes and Mossad. And so, yeah, Chris Green's been tweeting a lot, been putting up videos a lot, saying that Donald Trump's about to strike Iran. But has he? Again, you know as well as I do that before they can go through with a full-blown war, the other things have to pass first. And this being the year of prophecy, last year being the year Karagma, that has to come to pass. You know, it has to be made mandatory worldwide that you cannot buy, sell, or trade unless you receive the mark in your right hand or in your forehead. You know, over here it's called the RFID microchip, and over there it's called something else. I don't remember the exact name for it because I don't live over there, but either way, though, it's all part of the microchip, you know, which is why they've been doing away with cash in all these other places. You know, you can hardly even find cash places here. You go to Walmart now, there's a whole waiting center, like as if you're a passenger on an airline and you're sitting in the waiting room, because a lot of people are using these apps and then just picking them up from the kiosk. They just sit there while somebody else in the store goes and gets it for them, you know, making everything convenient. And that's how a lot of people are going to be deceived and are being deceived into getting that microchip, you know, because of the convenience. You don't have to stand in line anymore. You don't have to look around anymore. And Payless shoe stores, well, that's gone. Hey, I just tried to go to Sonic's Hamburgers, you know, the cool little drive-through that's like A&W. I tried to go to it. Man, that fucking place is already being torn down in Anderson. So I'll look that up later, but man, just the mirth of this place, man, it ain't there anymore, you know. Hometown buffet, nope, that disappeared last year. And this being the fiscal year, you're going to see a lot more downsizing. which is what's happening to me, downsizing, you know, losing a lot of shit, man, because you can't own anything in this fucking place, you know. Oh man, a fucking devil will give you a 60-day notice. The fucking devil will tell you got to clean it up or you're gonna get kicked out, you know. So you can't own anything, even though you fucking goddamn paid for it, you know. And almost everything you buy nowadays, it fucking breaks down anyways. It's a piece of shit. That's what America is, a big fucking pile of shit, you know. Yeah, man, and they're losing. And that's a good thing to see the downfall of our enemy, man. We can't wait. We can't wait to see America totally destroyed and annihilated. We want to see the annihilation of our enemies, you know, and we're watching it. We're watching all these enemies being gathered together in the valley of Yehoshaphat, you know, as the Most High said he would do. So why not just read it, you know? Because of prophecy, this being the year of prophecy, well, we're going to see a lot more. Joel chapter 3, and it reads, I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Yehoshaphat. I will plead with them for my people and for my heritage, Yasharahla, whom they have scattered among the nations and have parted my land. You know, and that's mostly dealing with Amalek, because Amalek in particularly was the one that led the slave trade and pretty much has been in power all this time. They have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for a harlot and sold a girl for wine that they may drink. You know, and this was all done, you know, pretty much, you know, just pretty much traded off, you know, for this and that, you know. And of course, America was purposely set up by the criminals, man. If you didn't make it in the UK, you were sent here or you were sent to Australia. They don't like to talk about that, but pretty much, man, this whole system here, what people call their constitution, was made up by criminals. Criminals that couldn't act civilized in the UK, couldn't even act civilized among Esau Edom, as if you see Esau Edom having any morals or values, but at one time, maybe, nah, they never did. But nonetheless, though, this were the outcasts of that. That's what this place, Babylon the Great, is. Yea, and what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and the coast of Palestine? Will you render me a recompense? Talking about you gutter rats that are living out there, living deliciously in that land. And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your head? You know, Most High is going to pay back all you motherfuckers, man. Every one of you. Because you have taken my silver and gold and have carried into your temples my goodly, pleasant things. You know, and that happened, you know, when they sold us and they traded us and they stole our gold, you know, pretty much, though, their hegemony, it's going to fall. You can see its hegemony fall. The children also of Yehoiada and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians, that you might remove them far from the border. You know, and what's going to happen with that? Well, the Most High is going to recompense them for that. And that's why we often tell everyone that they're going into slavery too. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither you have sold them. And that's what's happening now. Now that we're being raised up, man. We're finding out who we are. And we're going out there. We're proclaiming our heritage. We're repenting. And we're coming back to the Most High. And we're calling upon the name of the Most High, the real name. And will return your recompense upon your head. And I will also sell your sons and daughters into the hands of the children of Yehoiada, and that they may sell them to the Sabians, to people far off, for the Most High has spoken it. You know? So that's what's about to happen. You know? After this third woe passes, and America becomes that lake of fire, this will happen. Proclaim you this among the Gentiles. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, and let them come up. And that's what's happening now. You know, they're all investing in their military. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Again, you know, that's what's happening, because Iran was always considered a third world country. But now you see that they're capable of fighting back. And of course, the main reason why they're reluctant to fire back on Iran is because they know that Magog is a guard unto them. And they also know that Iran can also respond too. They have the S-300s and S-400s as well as S-200s. So they know how to halt an attack. You know, Tomahawk cruise missiles attack and all those things. They can see that it's not even working that well in Syria anymore. Ever since that last failure, you know, they haven't even tried to launch a false flag rocket attack against Damascus in quite a while. The only one that's doing that is Amalek. And pretty much, though, eventually that's going to come to a halt, you know? We know that one day Damascus will cease from being a city, becoming a ruinous heap. And we know that it'll be Amalek, because that's the least of the flock drawing them out into this. And we know that that's also in the same hour that this place, America, will be destroyed. You know, because you can just read the corresponding scriptures, because they all link up together. And this being the year of prophecy, you know, we're going to see more steps towards World War III. We already have, since it's been coined the year of prophecy. And we are also seeing more and more push for the mark, the RFID. And then just here in Reading alone, man, now you're starting to hear all of a sudden the governor calling for a $750 million budget for camping the homeless. So the homeless will march into them FEMA camps, and then they won't ever come out. You know, that's what the game plan was. That's what the downsize plan was with the car fire, was to gather up all the people so that way they could slowly take them away. You know, and that's been happening because, of course, you tell a homeless person that you'll receive benefits and that will provide adequate shelter. Man, they'll be the first to get on board with ID 2020 and take the microchip and be in the FEMA camps. It's happening, you know, and we know that that's part of the prophecy, that first they're going to, you know, start with the weak, because the prophecy says he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor. And we know that you don't get much more poor than being homeless. So, of course, it's going to start there, and it's going to work its way up, you know, to where everybody that wants the convenience, the security, you know, they'll want security in their homes, so they'll want a microchip system for their homes, so that way no one else can enter but them. Those that have the microchip would be able to enter. It's all happening, you know. You already see it with the RFID cards. You know, you go into any building, man, you see people waving the cards. What do you think that's meant to be replaced with? Meant to be replaced with the microchip, you know. And we know that Esau's about to roll that out, you know. Pretty much, though, you can't even join the law enforcement or the military unless you have that microchip. You know, pretty much it's a part of it. You know, they want to know how many shots were fired. They want to be able to track everything, because that's what it is. It's a tracking chip. And they show you this by way of this witchcraft, you know, the media, in the movies and everything. You know, that pretty much the convenience of microchip means that nothing will ever get lost or stolen. That's how they got people to put it in their pets. These sick fucking bastards, you know, that'll do that, you know. Anybody that put a microchip in their pet would put one in their child easily. So you can see how people fucking fell for that. Oh yeah, I want a tracking chip in my pet, so that way I know when he's wandered off, so I can find him, you know. Because of course, you know, most of the people are retarded, you know. They have no idea, and they think that we're crazy because we come out here and we teach these things, you know. And we're the only ones that have the full 100% truth. Now, there are others that have parts of the truth, but then they tell lies, and then, you know, pretty much you can't believe them because, well, how many lies have they told? You know, and that's the reason why Esau has all these bootleg camps. So that way they have a partial truth, but then they're going to mislead people to get them to think it's okay to take the microchip. You know, and that's the big thing with these bootleg camps, is that they tell you that the microchip is not the mark of the beast. They don't even talk about the microchip at all, you know. But what is that? You know, you can't buy, sell, or trade unless you have it. Christianity does not make such things. Most people are atheists. They don't even believe in Christianity. And those that did, they left that long ago. They can see that that's not working out. Because how is this going to work out, though? You know, somebody does something really notorious to you, are you really going to forgive them? Come on, let's be real about it, you know? And those that do are fools. And then that hatred builds up inside. And you know it does, because guess who are the people that they hate the most? Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. They hate us the most within Christianity, because it was Christianity that took us down to begin with. You know, the false prophet, the Catholic Church, you know, had everything to do with our downfall. And they taught Christianity to our people, you know, because you go down to South America, to Mexico, all them places, man, it's nothing but Catholicism there. And that's pretty much the majority of what they believe in. And then you have some that still believe in the pagan stuff because, well, they had escaped the Assyrian Empire, you know, such as the Aztecs and all that. They were all wiped out by the conquistadors, you know. The Incas. which were our people. So Esau has subjected everyone to this, and have sold the girl for a harlot, that they may live deliciously, and have given gifts to one another. This happened. It's already history. And we're just seeing the downfall of our enemy, because here it is, though it's already not even that far from when it was declared that this would be the year of prophecy, that prophecy would speak, So, there's another one that they don't like to talk about. Malachi chapter 1, the burden of the word of the Most High to Yasharahla by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Most High. Yet you say, where hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Yeah, he was our brother. Saith the Most High, yet I loved Jacob. And I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. What's that talk about? It's talking about when this place, America, will be destroyed once and for all. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. I mean, you see it all the time. We will rebuild, ready, strong. You can see all kinds of construction in them places that they destroyed. But guess what? The Most High, well, let's just keep reading. They shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. So the Most High hates you forever. There's no getting around it. And your eyes shall see, and you shall say, the Lord will be magnified from the border of Yasharahla. So pretty much, though, you can see, though, that we're being magnified. We're coming out, and we're coming to repentance, and we're telling our people to repent. And that's why they want to get us off the internet more than anything else. My main channel, Confusion of Face Redding, has 2 strikes on it already. So that's why Israelite Foreigner Redding is going to be the pretty much the new channel. And then I have a second channel to that. I also have Daily Motion. So I know that this ain't going to be around much longer. They've already done it to Apostle Tahar. What is the 666 mark? He hasn't been on that in a while, so I'm not sure if it has its 3rd strike or if it's on its 2nd strike, but most certainly, though, he hasn't been on it in a while. I don't get to get back on the other one, which I'm just going to redirect everybody to come here, with it, because I've already taken a page out, because I already figured out that they're just about ready to get rid of that channel anyways, so I may as well get used to this being my new channel, for the time being. But we ain't going to be on YouTube much longer. The famine of the word is coming quickly. And eventually, you can't find Press TV on there. The only time you see a Press TV video is if Jason Unruh actually forwards a Press TV video. We can't get any feeds from Press TV because Esau, Amalek controlling Google, YouTube. So you have to go to Press TV's website just to read the articles now. And it's been that way for quite a while, ever since they arrested one of the reporters here. And of course, it's because Press TV has been reporting the truth. That who the real terrorists are, which has been the U.S. and its proxies. Always has been. That's always been the secret weapon of Amalek. But it's really no secret, Amalek doesn't ever have to fight a war except the little things that they do with Syria, But they always got America to back their wars, which the least of the flock join everybody into this war. And this will be the war that will finally bring Esau to his end. And it's a good thing, We can't go on much longer. Everything's polluted, Pretty much, man, everything's killing us. The water's poisoned, the food is poisoned, We're dying. We've been dying. We've been in such a broken state for so long that most of our people have Stockholm Syndrome, and are celebrating those wicked festivities with Esau, have become likened unto Esau, which is why they're going to be destroyed with Esau. The only thing that makes a 2/3 worse than Esau is that here it is, though, that they once were, but now they are joined unto Esau. And that's eating from other fruits, man, worshiping other gods, idolatry, And our people are full of idolatry, man. They don't want to repent. That's why that pretty much, even though you tell them that that's a picture of Caesar Borgia, they'll still keep it in their house. That happened to Apostle Ramla, His picture was right next to Caesar Borgia, and he told his mom, why do you have my picture next to Caesar Borgia? And then he comes back next week, and then come to find out, his picture got taken down, but Caesar Borgia was up. You know, that's how in love with Esau our people are. They don't want to hear this truth. They reject the Most High. They reject that he's a black man. They reject that the prophets are out here teaching. They reject all these things. And that's why they're about to be destroyed. Because we ain't even going to be up here much longer. To be honest with you, I'd be surprised if we're up another 6 months. That's how fast channels are being taken down and being removed from YouTube, you know. And when YouTube's gone, man, I think that all that'll be really left are daily edification videos, to be quite honest, you know. I'd be really surprised if we're still out there teaching on the streets, but, you know, until that time comes, though, you better get it while it's still good. Again, you know, because take a good look around. There ain't nothing really here anymore. You know, everything's closing. And you can see it everywhere. You know, things that used to once be, oh, that used to be a Mervin's, oh, that used to be McMahon's Furniture. Yeah, that used to be Montgomery Ward's. Yeah, that was Kmart at one time, you know. And, you know, it just goes on and on. You know, they'll downsize to where they only have, like there was 2 Rayleighs in Reading, now there's only 1 Rayleigh's. You know, you have all kinds of events like that. Shopko gone. So the mirth of this place ain't there. And when the mirth ain't there, well, what jobs is left? Only being Uber, which is all electronically at, you know, and people pay using the credit card using that, you know, so that'll all be by the microchip system, which is like having a PayPal account. You're at their mercy to get paid, even though you're the one going out and picking people up, you know, you're still at their mercy. For right now, it's a business, but eventually, though, all this is going to fall. But the Most High is going to take care of his people in that day. You know, that's why when I lost my place, I still had ways to go. I still was able to eat and all that. Yeah, it sucks. I have to downsize and get rid of almost everything that I once had. But, you know, at the same time, though, I was taken care of. Because, make no mistake about it, for this time is a time unlike any other. It's known as Jacob's trouble, but we shall be saved out of it, you know. And we teach our people that, you know, it's a lot more than just, you know, okay, then World War III happens and then that's it. You know, that there's a lot of things that have to take place first. Martial law, you know. Some of us will have to be arrested for this truth, you know. It's a fact, you know. But make no mistake about it, though, those that are joined into Babylon and its system are going to be destroyed with Babylon. You know, and those that repenteth are not defiled. Revelation 14 tells us, these are they which were not defiled with women, meaning that we were not married unto any other philosophies, religions, or any of that. For they are virgins, they are which follow the Lamb wheresoever he goeth. They were redeemed from among men, being the firstfruits unto Yahweh and unto the Lamb. You know, and that's just it. We've been redeemed, man. We're the ones that heard the voice, you know, and came to the truth of who we were. And in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of Yahweh. Isn't that nice to hear? Because, you know, we were all caught in this judgment. You know, when we fell as a nation, man, we were all caught in it. But now we're found without beguile. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and every nation and kindred and tongue and people. You know? And that's just it, though, is this word has gone out. We have a great millstone in Germany, and we have camps all around the world, saying with a loud voice, fear Yahweh, and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is to come, and to worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the foundations of waters, and the fountains of waters. You know, and that's what we teach him. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, the great city, because she had made all the nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. We can see this place is nothing but falling apart. You know, and eventually it's going to be nothing but a desert wilderness. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast, that is the system, and his image, and receiveth his mark in his forehead or in his hand, talking about the RFID implant, they shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured into the cup of his indignation, and will be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And that's talking about the nuclear destruction that's about to destroy this place, in 1 hour. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever. And they shall have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast, that is, who's married to this system, and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name, that is the RFID implant, because those in love with the system, they're going to get that chip, because they love the technology, they love the convenience of fast shopping, do everything online, and then all I have to do is just scan my hand, and then I get everything right there, I don't have to wait in line anymore, those are people that are married unto it, just as they're married unto everything else, still celebrating all the bullshit, and they'll be the first to enlist, and of course selective service is going to be up. Again, that's why they want to disarm everyone. That's why you're constantly hearing about false flag shootings, which none of them are real, but they want you to believe it's real, so they can disarm people, so they can bring in martial law. Because what's that? That's the army after next. The army after next, Jade Helm, is going to come in, and they are going to pretty much take over. That's the UN. Why? Because most of the military is going to be there in Saudi Arabia fighting this new war against Iran that they just started. They're going to try. And then that's when all hell's going to break loose. Damascus is going to be destroyed, and pretty much Babylon's going to be destroyed. A lot of people are going to die in this war. And by these things, the third part of man was destroyed. It's talking about the red Hebrew Edomites, were destroyed in this war. And that's just it, though. Is the Most High is waking up the mighty men, the weakest saying that they are strong. Even Libya and Gomer and all of them are now standing up to these tyrants and say, nah, I don't want any part of that. Gomer has been playing both sides for quite a while, controlling terrorist groups to go into Libya and Syria, and then getting protection from Russia at the same time, because those that were with thee have deceived thee. So, Gomer, who's supposed to be a UN NATO ally, is pretty much deceived them, is with Magog, and all these other EU nations, the beast, they're going to hate the whore and burn her with fire, especially because they pulled out of the JCPOA, and started this war with Iran to begin with, Everyone around the world, except for Saudi Arabia and Amalek, Israeli state, is pretty much for Iran's retaliation against the terrorists. They are commending it. Even Gomer is praising them for that. Syria, all of it. And Iraq wants these terrorists out of their country. They're sick of the U.S. being there, so Iran just did them a favor by destroying that base. And you're going to see a lot more of that, because you think Amalek's going to stop? Going to stop trying to draw everybody into this war? No, they always wanted a war with Iran. Chris Green, how long has he been telling that? He said that all these other things are proxies, that they really just want a war with Iran. What do you think that 8-year Iran-Iraq war was all about? Iraq was supported by the United States, Reagan administration, to go after Iran, but when they failed to do so, they set them up. They told them that it was okay to go ahead and take Kuwait. And then what did they do? They launched an invasion into Iraq, to so-called liberate Kuwait, and gave false testimonies and everything. Brought up the propaganda against Saddam. Just like they're doing now by saying that Iran has shot down the passenger plane. No, that's not what happened. It was a crash. It was a crash because of Mossad. Just like, that other plane that disappeared. Because that's what Mossad always does. And they blame their political enemies. They always wanted to blame Iran. They can't blame Libya anymore. Shit, they already took down Gaddafi. But they tried to blame him for Flight 101 back in the 80s. They tried to say it was him. Then they launched an airstrike into the palace in Libya, and they killed, in Tripoli actually, and they killed Muammar Gaddafi's son back then over a false flag. So, it just goes on and on. Same tactics, same enemy. You can always tell what a Mossad operation is. And that's just it, though. It ain't just us on the prophets on the streets. Their own people are turning up against them. Their tongue is falling upon them. You got all kinds of whistleblowers, people that used to work for the CIA that blown the whistle on it. That's why they want Assange. That's why they want the other one, I'm trying to think, Snowden. Because, of course, their tongue is falling upon them. So I hope all this has been edifying. Like everything else, though, we're going to continue to see the downfall of our enemies, and eventually they're going to remove the rest of our channels. For that, I want to say, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, Wa Abab Abal. Barak them to hopeful elect. Shalom.